Hello, guys. Welcome to the It's All Over official YouTube channel. If you're wondering, everything is dark. This podcast is dark. It's about the world because the world is dark. Let's talk about the current war happening, the Iran. Well, it's, the news media, U.S. media outlets, the propagandists are calling it the Iran war. It's more likely, I would call it instead the American-Israel invasion on Iran. That's probably more fitting. The U.S.-American war on Iran. That's it. We have, 4 more years of this? 3? When will Trump finish his term? And even after this, there's no guarantee that after Trump leaves the White House, that suddenly all of these imperialist fantasies are going to come to an end. I don't ever see that happening. America has always been a terrorist organization. The American government has always been the world's terrorist regime. But it's interesting how everyone else is called a terrorist, but America is always called anything but a terrorist. We're the good guys. We're at least quote unquote we're the good guys. We've never been the good guys. We were like Nazis with good marketing. That's what we are. We're Nazis with good marketing. We've been very successful. America has been very successful since World War II in portraying itself as a land for freedom and democracy, which is pure fantasy. None of that is true. None of that is true. The one thing America is good at, really, more than anything, it turns out, is graping kids. And if they're not graping them, they're bombing them. They're either raping schoolgirls or bombing them. That's what the world's come down to. This war on Iran was supposed to be a cakewalk. It was supposed to be, like Trump says, we go in there, we hit him hard and fast. And what happened now? Everyone is either surprised or shocked at Iran's resistance. And honestly, if I was in their shoes, in Iran's shoes, they should have had nukes. They've had 40 years to obtain nukes. If they had obtained these nukes, they'd be like North Korea right now. They would not have been attacked. Because it turns out nuclear weapons are the god of war. And that's the only god the U.S. government fears. Nuclear weapons. So if you want to be safe from American drones, from America killing your leaders, from America bombing your schoolgirls and bombing civilians, and from Israel's imperialist ambitions, if you want to be safe from all of that, you have to get nuclear weapons. Every small country should be on alert right now. They should be hitting up China, Russia, North Korea, and all these other countries and try to find a way in clandestine to get nuclear weapons. Obviously, there's always a risk, of course. You're going to be taken out as a leader of that country. Because America, if every country had nukes, there would be no more to bully. America would have no one left over to bully. These are facts. Because if you look at historically, only non-nuclear powered countries, only countries with non-nukes get blown up. If you look at between Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine doesn't have nukes. That's why Russia invaded. Iran doesn't have nukes. That's why America's invading or attempting to. Iraq never had nukes. Libya never had nukes. Syria doesn't have nukes. Tell me one country in history where America's invaded that had nukes at the time of their invasion. So we've established that nuclear weapons are the god of war. It's the only god America fears. So, if you want to protect yourself, you better ally yourself with this god of war. You better have this god of war in your country and not just talk about it. Don't try to use it as a leverage for negotiations like Iran's been doing for the past 40 years, because that's never going to work out. Because what the U.S. is going to do, they're going to use these negotiations to track their negotiators, their movements. Because when they go back to their country, that's how they killed Ali Khamenei. They tracked the people around him, the negotiators, after they left whatever meetings they were with the Israel and Americans. They tracked their movements back to supreme leader of Iran. That's how they found out where he was at. This whole thing about traffic lights. You know how they talk about they use the traffic lights of Iran to find out where the supreme leader is living. That's all lies. The Mossad, the CIA never reveal their tactics, so they can use them again at any other country. So this whole thing about they use the traffic lights is complete BS. It's more than that. Whatever they did, more than likely, they're not going to reveal out, because they're probably doing the same thing in other countries right now.